In the golden age of family sitcoms, there was one show that captured the messy, beautiful chaos of blending two families into one, Step by Step. Premiering in 1991, it wasn't just another comedy about love and life. It was a phenomenon. Millions of viewers gathered every Friday night, drawn in by the laughter, the tears, and the warm familiarity that the Lambert Foster clan brought into living rooms across America. Frank Lambert's gruff charm, Carol Foster's unshakable optimism, and their unruly brood of kids created a magic that seemed effortless. But behind the humor and happy endings on screen, there were real people, complex, talented, and sometimes troubled, who gave life to these beloved characters. As the years have passed, Step by Step remains frozen in time for many, a perfect capsule of 90s television. Yet while the show lives on in reruns and memories, the actors themselves have traveled very different paths. Some climbed to greater heights of fame. Some quietly retreated from the spotlight. And heartbreakingly, some have left us forever. Their journeys, both triumphant and tragic, are stories that deserve to be remembered, not just as characters, but as the vibrant, complicated souls they truly were. Today, we take a closer look at these stars who once made us laugh, cry, and believe in second chances. What dreams did they chase once the cameras stopped rolling? What secrets and struggles did they face far from the gleaming lights of Hollywood? And most poignantly, what legacies did they leave behind when their final curtain fell? As we revisit their lives, we will uncover tales of extraordinary resilience, hidden controversies, surprising transformations, and heartbreaking losses. Their stories are woven deeply into the heart of Step by Step, and in telling them, we keep their memories alive. So, what has become of the actors we once welcomed into our homes each week? Where did their journeys take them after the laughter faded? Stay with us as we uncover the real, untold stories behind the smiling faces of Step by Step. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to continue exploring the incredible, and sometimes heartbreaking, lives behind Hollywood's brightest stars. Suzanne Summers, born on October 16, 1946, in San Bruno, California, was a woman who seemed destined for the spotlight from the very beginning. Growing up in a turbulent household marred by an abusive, alcoholic father, Suzanne's early life was anything but easy. Yet from that chaos, she would emerge as a fierce, resilient force, fueled by an unwavering belief that she was meant for something more. Life was a series of battles for Suzanne, battles that she never backed away from. By the time she joined Step by Step in 1991 as Carol Foster Lambert, Suzanne was already a household name. She had survived the meteoric highs and crushing lows of fame through her breakout role as the ditzy but lovable Chrissy Snow on Three's Company. But behind the laughs, Suzanne had been fighting a very real battle for respect in Hollywood. Her demand for equal pay to her male co-stars on Three's Company, a bold move at the time, led to her abrupt firing and a painful period of being blacklisted by the industry. Yet Suzanne refused to be defeated. Instead, she carved out a second act, becoming not just an actress, but a business mogul, author, and health advocate. When Step by Step came along, Suzanne was 45 years old, seasoned by life's tough lessons, but still radiantly beautiful and full of energy. Her portrayal of Carol, the sweet and determined salon owner who marries into chaos, felt authentic because Suzanne herself had known chaos and had chosen love over it time and time again. Critics and audiences alike praised her return to primetime TV, with many noting that her natural warmth and comedic timing made her the heart of the show. After Step by Step ended, Suzanne's career continued to evolve in unexpected ways. She launched a hugely successful line of health and beauty products, wrote best-selling books about wellness, and became an outspoken advocate for alternative medicine after battling cancer multiple times. But her personal life was perhaps her greatest triumph. Her decades-long marriage to Alan Hamill was a Hollywood rarity, a love story that endured. Suzanne's death on October 15, 2023, just one day before her 77th birthday, sent shockwaves through her fans and the entertainment world. She had fought cancer bravely for over 2 decades, facing every setback with grace and defiance. When news of her passing broke, it wasn't just sadness that swept across social media. It was gratitude. Gratitude for a woman who had lived fearlessly, who had refused to be silenced, and who had given the world not just laughter but hope. Behind the camera, Suzanne was known to be fiercely protective of her castmates, often serving as a mentor, especially to the younger actors on set. While no major conflicts ever publicly surfaced from Step by Step, those who worked closely with her remembered her as someone who brought calm and professionalism to a chaotic industry. Perhaps the most surprising thing about Suzanne Summers was how she turned every fall into a chance to rise even higher. Her role as Carol wasn't just a comeback. It was a statement that women could be powerful, funny, and unbreakable at any age, and in living so brightly, even against the darkest odds. Suzanne left behind a legacy that will never be forgotten. Peggy Ray may not have been the headline star of Step by Step, but her presence was unforgettable. Born on March 31st, 1921, in Los Angeles, California, Peggy was part of a generation of actors who didn't rely on glamour or flash. She relied on grit, authenticity, and a heart that radiated through every role she took. In a career that spanned over 5 decades, she became a staple of American television, often portraying strong-willed, warm, and occasionally hilariously overbearing matriarchs. And audiences loved her for it. By the time Peggy Ray appeared in Step by Step as Ivy Baker, she was already a veteran of the screen, known for her roles in The Waltons, Dukes of Hazzard. In Grace Under Fire, she had an uncanny ability to breathe life into every character, not through big dramatic flourishes, but with subtle glances, snappy one-liners, and that ever-present twinkle in her eye. Ivy, Carol's wise and witty aunt, brought a grounded energy to the series that balanced out the youthful chaos of the blended family. Peggy was 70 years old when she stepped into the role, bringing with her a lifetime of experience and a personal touch that made even her smallest scenes linger in viewers' memories. But Peggy's journey to television fame wasn't immediate. In fact, she began her career behind the scenes, working as a secretary at MGM and as a production assistant for I Love Lucy. Her transition to acting came later, a bold move that proved she wasn't afraid to take risks even in an era where women were often told their time had passed after 30. Peggy smashed that notion with every role she took, becoming the kind of actress who didn't just support a cast, she lifted it. Off-screen, Peggy was known for being generous, fiercely loyal, and unapologetically real. She didn't chase the spotlight, nor did she indulge in Hollywood's drama. She was refreshingly down-to-earth, a woman who carried herself with grace and purpose. Her colleagues spoke of her as a rock, dependable, kind, and always the first to offer a comforting word or warm smile. There were no scandals, no messy headlines. Peggy Ray simply lived a life of quiet excellence, building a legacy that would far outlast the fleeting fame of the industry. Peggy passed away on February 5, 2011, at the age of 89. Her death marked the end of an era, not just for Step by Step fans, but for anyone who remembered the golden age of character actors who brought depth and texture to television. While her role as Ivy Baker may not have made magazine covers, it was yet another thread in a career defined by consistency, heart, and timeless talent. In a world of egos and explosions, Peggy Ray stood out for her simplicity. She didn't need drama to captivate. She just needed a script, a camera, and a character with soul. And Ivy Baker, much like Peggy herself, was all heart. David Graff was the kind of actor who could steal a scene with nothing but a raised eyebrow and an awkward pause. Born on April 16, 1950, in Lancaster, Ohio, he was never meant to be a typical Hollywood star, and that's exactly why audiences loved him. A boy from the Midwest with big dreams and a quick wit, David charted his own path in an industry that rarely made space for the unconventional. By the time he made his appearance on Step by Step, David was already a cult icon. Best known for playing the trigger-happy Officer Eugene Tackleberry in the Police Academy franchise. That character Loud, absurd, and oddly endearing became his signature. But David was so much more than the comic relief. He was a trained actor with deep roots in theater, holding a Master of Fine Arts degree from Ohio University, and a man who took his craft seriously, even when the roles leaned toward the outrageous. On Step by Step, David took on multiple minor roles, including Dave Roberts and Mitch Crawford, sprinkling the show with his signature energy and comic unpredictability. Though his appearances were brief, they left a lasting impression. He brought with him not just humor, but a sense of spontaneity that added to the show's lively tone. His cameos weren't throwaways. They were clever, absurd gems that reminded audiences of the golden days of 80s and 90s comedy. Behind the scenes, David was known for his generosity and humility. He didn't care for stardom. What he cared about was the work and his family. He married Katherine Holcomb, a fellow actress, and together they raised 2 sons. He was a devoted father, and by all accounts, the kind of colleague everyone wished for on set, patient, professional, and endlessly kind. But David's life would be tragically cut short. On April 7th, 2001, just 9 days before his 51st birthday, he died suddenly of a heart attack while attending a family wedding in Arizona. The shock of his passing rippled through Hollywood and his fan base alike. He had shown no signs of illness. And just like that, a vibrant life was extinguished without warning, without farewell. He was only 41 when he appeared on Step by Step, and his early death was a cruel twist for a man who still had so much to give. For many, he remains frozen in time, always ready with a dry quip or a ridiculous facial expression. Always the one who could make you laugh when you least expected it. David Graff may never have been the leading man, but he was the kind of actor that every show needs. The one who sneaks into your memory and stays there long after the credits roll. He didn't burn the brightest in Hollywood sky, but he burned with something rare: consistency, honesty, and joy. And in the hearts of those who knew him, and those who laughed with him, that light has never gone out. Nedra Voles, born on May 20th, 1908, in Montpelier, Indiana, was a true icon of character acting, beloved for her ability to bring warmth, humor, and depth to every role, no matter how small. She came from humble beginnings, her early years marked by a sense of determination and grit. Nedra's entry into the acting world was unconventional. She started as a radio actress, eventually making her way to Broadway before transitioning into television in the 1960s. Her career spanned decades, and she became known for her roles as wise, quirky women with hearts full of wisdom. In Step by Step, Nedra played Mrs. Slazak, the sweet, if sometimes meddlesome, housekeeper. She brought a calm, nurturing presence to the show, effortlessly grounding the sometimes chaotic family dynamic with her wit and wisdom. At 83 years old, she was a seasoned actress when she took on the role, and she brought a wealth of experience that made her character feel like an extension of her own personality. The warmth she brought to Step by Step was undeniable. She was a constant in the series, a maternal figure who often offered a subtle touch of humor and insight in moments of family crisis. But Nedra was more than just a funny, nurturing woman on television. Behind her on-screen persona, she was a woman who had lived through hardships, navigating personal and professional struggles over the years. Her career wasn't a meteoric rise. It was one of steady persistence and resilience. By the time she joined Step by Step, she was already a TV veteran, with roles in Maude and Different Strokes, shows that, like Step by Step, touched hearts through humor and insightful storytelling. Nedra's personal life, much like her acting career, wasn't filled with scandal or fanfare. Instead, it was a quiet triumph of hard work, family, and an unwavering commitment to her craft. She was married briefly in her early life, but much of her personal time was devoted to her career and the relationships she built with her fellow actors. Sadly, Nedra Voles passed away on January 30th, 2003, at the age of 94. Her death marked the end of an era, a time when character actors like her were the lifeblood of television. She was a pillar of strength for many, not just for her family on Step by Step, but for the larger television landscape, where her type of acting was often undervalued but always essential. Her passing was a great loss, but her legacy endures in the hearts of those who remember her with fondness. She may not have been the star of the show, but her impact was undeniable. In the world of sitcoms, where laughter was the goal, Nedra reminded us that the best kind of humor comes from kindness, patience, and the willingness to make others feel like they belong. Tony Longo, born on January 23, 1962, in New York City, was a man whose larger-than-life presence and unmistakable physicality made him a standout in every role he played. Standing at 6 feet 6 inches, Tony was a true giant, but his heart was just as large as his frame. Known for his unique combination of imposing stature and a gentle demeanor, Tony was often cast as tough guys, bullies, or the comic relief big man who could intimidate with a glance but was always the softest soul in the room. His roles were frequently filled with humor and charm, an ironic twist for someone who often appeared menacing on screen. Tony appeared on Step by Step as Soupy/Tony, bringing his signature comedic timing to the character. His role in the series was relatively brief, but Tony's performance was memorable for its endearing quality, the kind of performance that left viewers smiling and thinking about the gentle giant long after the episode ended. He was 30 years old when he joined the show, a fresh talent with big potential. And although his screen time was limited, Tony's ability to steal the scene was undeniable. Before stepping into the limelight, Tony had already carved a niche for himself in Hollywood, appearing in films such as The Meg, Pulp Fiction, and The Glimmer Man. His career wasn't filled with the sort of high-profile leading roles, but it was built on solid performances that proved he was more than just his size. He was a versatile actor who could slip seamlessly between tough guy roles and comedic ones, showing off a talent that many underestimated. Off-screen, Tony was a man who was known for his kindness, humility, and love for his family. Those who worked with him praised him not just for his dedication to his craft, but for his generous and caring spirit. He didn't let Hollywood's fast-paced nature change his approach to life. He stayed grounded, keeping close ties to his roots and always being the type of person who could bring humor to any situation. Tony's warmth shone through in his personal life as well, where he was a devoted father and husband. Tragically, Tony Longo's life was cut short when he passed away on June 21, 2015, at the age of 53. His death, caused by a sudden heart attack, was a devastating blow to his family, friends, and fans. He had been in good health, and his sudden passing left those closest to him reeling. The world lost a talented actor who had much more to offer, and it was especially painful because Tony had so much life left to live. His death left a void in Hollywood. Though he was never the star of a blockbuster film, Tony's roles always added an extra layer of depth, humor, and relatability to the projects he worked on. His legacy, however, isn't just in the roles he played, it's in the way he made people feel. He showed that a man could be strong and imposing, yet still possess the warmth and compassion that make a lasting impact. Tony Longo may have left this world too soon, but the kindness and joy he spread throughout his career will never be forgotten. His performances continue to bring smiles, and his memory remains a testament to the power of humility and heart. Mickey Jones, born on June 23, 1941, in Houston, Texas, was a man whose face became familiar to countless television and film fans, though his presence on screen was often understated. With his rugged looks and deep, gravelly voice, Mickey had a way of making even the most minor characters seem larger than life. Yet, despite his significant body of work in Hollywood, it was his natural warmth and comedic timing that truly left a mark on audiences. His career spanned several decades, and his versatility in both comedic and dramatic roles made him a beloved fixture in entertainment. On Step by Step, Mickey portrayed Virgil, the gruff yet lovable character who often found himself caught up in the chaos of the Lambert Foster household. Virgil was a character who brought an extra layer of humor and heart to the show, a perfect complement to the family dynamics at play. Mickey's portrayal was effortless. He had a knack for playing characters who seemed tough on the outside, but were soft at heart. His deadpan delivery and genuine charm made him an unforgettable part of the show, even though his appearances were relatively limited. Before stepping into the world of sitcoms, Mickey had already built an impressive career as a drummer. He was a member of some of the most iconic bands of the 60s and 70s, including Bob Dylan's band and Trini Lopez. His time as a rock musician gave him a deep understanding of performance and timing, skills he seamlessly translated into his acting career. Mickey wasn't just an actor. He was a man who had lived a rich and full life, blending his musical talents with his love of acting. Throughout his career, Mickey became known for his roles in films like The Big Lebowski and National Lampoon's Vacation, and his TV appearances included guest spots on shows such as Home Improvement and Married with Children. But beyond the roles, Mickey had an ability to infuse something extra into everything he did, a quiet strength, a sort of grounded wisdom that came from years of experience in both the entertainment world and life itself. Off-screen, Mickey was a loving husband and father. He was known for his dry sense of humor, his generosity, and his devotion to his family. Those who knew him often spoke of his gentle nature, which contrasted with the tough guy persona he sometimes portrayed on screen. Mickey's love for his craft was matched only by his love for his family, and he approached both with the same level of commitment and dedication. Sadly, Mickey Jones passed away on February 7th, 2018, at the age of 76. His death was the result of a long battle with a serious illness, and it marked the end of an era for those who had followed his career. His passing left a deep void in Hollywood, especially for fans who remembered him from his countless television and film appearances. Mickey's legacy is one of understated brilliance. While he may not have been the loudest or most obvious star, his presence was always felt, whether as Virgil on Step by Step or as a drummer on stage. Mickey brought an authenticity and sincerity to his work that made him stand out in an industry filled with fleeting trends. His ability to convey emotion without saying a word, to elicit laughter with a simple look, was what made him so special. Mickey Jones may not have been the center of the spotlight, but his impact was undeniable. He was a man who lived his life with integrity, humor, and heart, and he will forever be remembered for the joy he brought into the lives of those who had the privilege of watching him perform. As we've revisited the lives of the actors from Step by Step, it's clear that these men and women were so much more than the characters they played. From Suzanne Summers' resilience in the face of adversity, to Mickey Jones' quiet strength and the unforgettable warmth of Peggy Ray, David Graff, Tony Longo, and Nedra. The legacies of these actors are woven deeply into the fabric of the show's success. They were more than just familiar faces in a sitcom. They were multifaceted individuals who faced personal struggles, celebrated victories, and above all, made us laugh, cry, and believe in the power of family. Their journey from the bright lights of Hollywood to the shadows of the past is a reminder that stardom is fleeting, but the impact of a life well lived lasts forever. As we reflect on their contributions to the world of entertainment, we're reminded that even in a world where fame can burn bright and fade quickly, it's the authenticity, kindness, and sheer talent that remain in the hearts of fans. Through laughter, through loss, through love, these actors left behind something timeless. Step by Step may have ended years ago, but their influence continues to resonate. Their lives, both on and off the screen, are a testament to the power of storytelling, the depth of human experience, and the enduring legacy of those who bring our favorite characters to life. So, as we say goodbye to these beloved actors, we do so not with sorrow, but with gratitude for their work, for their hearts, and for the lasting memories they created. We remember them with love. If you've enjoyed these deep dives into the lives of your favorite step-by-step stars, don't forget to subscribe. We'll continue bringing you the untold stories, the hidden gems, and the true lives behind Hollywood's brightest lights. Stay tuned. and keep celebrating the lives that shape the television we know and love.